There's something seriously wrong with our society, with Western civilization. You've got this controversy over reborns, which pops up now and then. And we got some of these stories, one from the Mirror. Kelly insists she is an adoptive mother to her $2,000 8 reborn dolls. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. A woman who is raising fake kids. I'm just going to pause real quick and say, why not have real ones? Why, maybe you could have a real child. Now, I suppose I try to be a nice, reasonable guy. If there are some women literally can't have kids, maybe you want to buy a doll. I still think there are better things you can do. Adopting is an option. But what I will say is this phenomenon that we are seeing, which is bubbling up in the news, once again, I think is indicative of a sickness in our society. Women want to have kids. I think that is a fact. I think obviously humans would not exist if women did not want to have kids. And anybody who's seen how women act around kids, I was watching that show Archer. You guys ever watch that one? Where what's the character's name? Lena. She's baby crazy, and Archer keeps calling her baby crazy because they say that at a certain age, you either call it the biological clock ticking or baby crazy. Women start seeing babies. They want babies. Why do women have cats? I'm not kidding. Cats have small heads and big eyes, and they say that it sort of stimulates a response in humans not too dissimilar to how humans see babies. So women buy lots of cats. Heaven help us. We have this story where it's very simple. 28-year-old woman bought these realistic reborn dolls after watching videos on YouTube and spent $2,000 on them. And I think it's horror movie-esque. Horror movie-esque. You know what's funny? I got to be honest. We have this other story here, too. A woman who raises a fake baby and people say she should be in a mental institution. Guys, they've got anime waifu body pillows. I'm telling you, my friends, as soon as they allow people to live in the pod and eat the bugs, they are going to dive in head first. Not conservatives. More importantly, not Catholics. Not Catholics. I think many conservatives and Christians probably will avoid the pod and eat the bugs, but Catholics are probably going to be the least likely, in my opinion. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Woman who is raising a doll claps back at haters who say she belongs in a mental institution. So everybody has their triggers. They have the things that released up. For guys, it is fighting off bears. Fighting bears. Not literally, but in video games, maybe. And the reason why they make so many video games where you're a guy fighting against all odds, think about how many video games are you're a single dude storming an enemy nation, an enemy castle, raiding an enemy ship, just you, one guy. That is the male power fantasy. That it's like, you're one person up against the entire machine. You are Hercules up against the gods themselves. Well, women have the same thing. So the funny thing is, why James Bond? Why do they make movies like this? And why did woke feminist films fail? Because the saying goes, men want to be him and women want to be with him. For women, they're watching James Bond because, man, look at that guy, a hero's hero, and they want his babies. And why do guys watch it? Because they want to be him. That's the saying, right? So they try making these movies where the lady is the superhero and guys don't want to be with her and women don't want to be her. So it just don't work. So I got some advice. You want to make a chick flick for the ladies? You got to tackle the female power fantasy, which is having lots of babies. I am not joking. Literally not every woman ever wants to have kids. I don't think it's true, but I think it's 99%. Think about it this way. Evolutionarily, if it were true that women didn't want to have kids, humans wouldn't exist. Women want to have kids. Case in point, these things. Take a look at this. Madeline Fox, now 19, from the UK, told the Daily Mail she has been obsessed with babies and dolls ever since she could remember. Well, yes, many women are. And I think it's disgusting that women... Look, I'm not making fun of women for wanting babies. I'm not making fun of guys for wanting to storm the gates and fight the emperor. I'm just saying that's the male and female power fantasy. You want to make a male power fantasy? Spider-Man with webs holding up a busload of children and the woman he loves. And Green Goblin is like, choose, Spider-Man. Suffer the children or save Mary Jane. And everyone's watching that and they're like, yes. And then guess what? Spider-Man saves everyone. That's the male power fantasy. Maybe in real life, a guy just runs into a burning building and saves a kid. For women, it is largely around having babies. Like, not literally birthing them, but having and taking care of children. This is who we are as human beings. And I don't know why it is that the media apparatus, well, I have some guesses, but it is true. Institutions in this country and in the West have been screaming in the face of women not to embrace who they are and be moms. And that's crazy. They keep telling women to be men. You don't want to be a mom. You want to be like Captain Marvel. Be an angsty, angry woman who's bottled up her emotions and then does a bunch of evil things because a guy told her to smile. And then nobody wants to watch these things because it's outside of who we are as people. So this chick, she had a daughter. And then after her daughter got older, she said, I like having babies. So she bought a fake one. A prosthetic baby. And now she pretends to, it's so creepy, man. It's just too creepy. Okay, you know why I'm like especially creeped out? Because I have a baby right now. Everybody knows, I'm going to say it a million times, it is the entitlement of any parent to pull out their phone with pictures of their babies and literally bash people in the face and say, look at my baby. And there's great moments in a child's life. One, when they learn to crawl, when they learn to walk, and the moment they do their first dance, it is imperative that you as a parent make sure you show everybody on your phone. I see this, and I am freaked out by it. A woman coddling a fake baby. Yeah, I'm sorry. That is really creepy. That is horror movie level stuff. And we are seeing this gaining popularity. Crazy. She sees me she has a daughter, a toddler. She sees me holding and changing him. She loves giving him pacifiers and bottles. It's sweet seeing her interact with him and catching a glimpse of what it could be like for us in the future. Just have another kid. Just have another kid whenever she gets a sibling. But raising a reborn has led to Madeline receiving immense backlash. Now, I don't think anybody should be going to this lady's page and attacking her or whatever. I think polite shame is always allowed. And I would say, you are a creepy woman. You freak me out. And I'm sure you don't care. And that's fine. You don't have to care. And honestly, I ain't going to really interact on the fact that you creep me out. But I do think it's important. You see, what we're getting from this is the shock. How dare someone tell this woman that she can't raise fake babies? Shame is an important function of a healthy society. Really is. As the meme goes, I'll try to keep it a little bit more family friendly. A guy with a certain proclivity towards toasters in 1990 proclaims his proclivity and someone says, you're nasty, shut up and sit down. In 2024, he says, okay, goes online, finds a community of people who want to bang toasters, and then there you go. See, a lot of these deviant, degenerate behaviors and things that are bad for humans, it's addictive, couldn't exist until the internet started networking people who are suffering mental disorders. I'm not saying that for her, I'm saying in general. So if you were someone who desperately wanted to eat your hair, people would stop you from doing it. If you were someone who was anorexic or morbidly obese, people would try and stop you from doing it. If you were abusing something, people would have interventions. Now, these people, instead of having interventions, so here's what happens. An intervention works because this is your family. You have nowhere to go. You have no other community. You have a problem, either stop it or you're out, and it hurts. Humans are social beings. These days, you go to someone and say, we're putting an end to your bad behavior, and they'll say, don't worry, I'll go online and find a network of people doing this to support me. And you know what? I bet you people would buy these women dolls. Now, to be honest, the Reborn thing isn't the worst thing imaginable. That's fine. Whatever. The mukbang stuff is way worse. And there's so much more worse stuff out there. But you know what the mukbang is? It's where people eat until they die. Like, not literally, but a woman died. A woman in Korea was live streaming herself gorging on food and her stomach ruptured and she died on camera. She was doing like an ultra long stream of there's one woman who got caught. She was like, I'm going to eat a bunch of food. And then apparently people caught her spitting the food out. It's fake. This is the thing with the internet. YouTube allows it. I don't know what else you can do. Do we ban people who engage in this kind of deviant, degenerate stuff? I don't know. What I can tell you, though, so long as it exists, interventions will not work, and course-correcting shame, polite shame, saying, hey, you're kind of freaking people out, maybe don't do this, it's never going to survive. It's never going to exist. So where are we now? It's not just that, but in general, our society is replacing babies. And I will tell you, women like this, their genetic line ends. Men, liberal men, genetic line ends. So call it whatever you want. Call it whatever you want. The end result will be obvious and the same. People who engage in these behaviors outside of the realms of normal human behavior, this actually is natural. This actually is evolution, my friends. No, let me explain. I call it deviant, degenerate, whatever, but I'm saying it's evolution. These people will eliminate themselves from the gene pool by their own choices they make, and they're allowed to. And those that are resistant to these addictions will survive. Over a long enough period of time, humans that survive the AI transition, it will be phenomenal. Really will. A lot of people talk about AI being evil, but let me explain. The liberal types and the degenerate types are going to plug their brains in the moment they get. Those who are weak will do so as well. The strong, moral traditionalists will survive and will adapt. It's going to take the utmost strength of will to survive what is coming. They will titillate any nerve center in your brain. Who can resist? Only the strongest. So I guess what I'm saying is the Amish, the Mennonites, they're going to be good because they're going to resist all of this stuff. But we'll see, man. All right, stay tuned. We got more segments coming up, and we will see you all in a little bit. Follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast.